And recording.
Now and forever.
Now and forever.
The Winter Garden Theater. You're welcome.
Yes.
Get that in your head.
Oh.
I was waiting.
We will not talk. We will not speak of it. Hi. It's the weirdest intro ever. But then again, that's pretty much every week. So.
That's the goal.
Hi, I'm Tim Martinek. With me, as always, is
Hi,
Bob.
I'm Bob. No last name.
No last name.
I guess.
And we're Precarious Pixels. Oh, I always want to start over, but we're not going to.
Tim watched the Cats trailer.
Oh, and I will not be able to unsee the Cats trailer. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Which kind of dashed my hopes to ever see like a live Thundercats kind of thing, because I was like, if it looks anything like this, I don't want it. Don't do it.
Would you say you'll have memories about it?
Oh, I have memories. Memories.
I, oddly enough, have not watched it, and I've learned enough from it that I don't need to.
You don't.
And I'm good.
Yep.
There's enough
and the world doesn't
things.
need to watch it. Don't watch this. Don't. Just don't.
You watch that or that movie about the kid whose mother was in some sort of terrorist bombing.
What?
There's
what?
Yeah. There's a movie coming out.
Oh, okay.
Based on an award-winning book.
Oh, alright.
About a kid who's in a museum and his mother is the victim of a bombing in that museum.
Oh, that's horrible.
And then he grows up, I guess.
Wow.
And it's got Jeffrey Wright, or as I like to call him, Peoples Hernandez.
Yes.
In it, and then I don't know. Kid looks sad.
I would imagine so.
And then he writes poetry, I think. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
The poetry thing might be from the movie about the guy who likes Bruce Springsteen, though.
What?
There's a lot of weird trailers I've seen.
I don't know. There's some weird movies coming out.
There's one about a guy who's, I think he's Pakistani, in England. So yeah it's not that one. That could be. There's a movie coming out about a guy who learns about Bruce Springsteen in the 80s, and he feels like an outcast, and his words, like Bruce Springsteen's words, you don't really think of them as being that prolific, but I guess they were to this gentleman, cause him to become a poet.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a coming-of-age story. He's in high school. And
is it like a musical based off of?
It's not a musical.
Oh, okay. It's
not a musical at all. It's just, at least from what I can tell, it's just about a guy who likes Springsteen and becomes a poet.
Okay. That's not a bad thing. I mean, alright.
I don't see that being a movie. But maybe there's more to it than that. It's not the Yesterday movie.
Yeah, which is based off the Beatles stuff. Which is a weird movie in general. I was just like, that's weird.
Yeah, we'll wait until you see it. Because I can tell you all about that movie because I saw it.
You did?
I did.
Why? I mean, tell me about it.
Why?
I was just like, it kind of gave you the whole thing in the trailer. I was like, alright, I kind of see where this goes.
First off, do you know who directed it?
No.
Danny Boyle.
Oh, that's weird.
Right?
But I can see that. He's a music lover.
He is a music lover.
Englishman in his own right.
Yeah, he is English. So it's an interesting movie. That one is one I don't think I could talk about without it being spoilers.
Okay.
Are you ever going to watch it?
No.
Okay, so spoilers aplenty. The movie's called Yesterday. And the plot of the movie is this. The guy's a struggling musician. He's talented at music.
Yes.
He's not talented at songwriting.
Right.
And refuses to, I guess, play other people's music?
Right.
Maybe? But not really? And he ends up getting into an accident. He's riding his bike, and the whole world has a blackout at the same exact moment.
Right.
There's no explanation for this ever throughout the rest of the movie.
Okay. All right.
Never an explanation.
That's fine.
And while he's on his bike, during this blackout, which also causes headlights and things to, I guess, go out. Everything goes out.
Okay.
I think. He gets hit by a bus.
Right.
He wakes up. He's missing 2 teeth.
Oof.
He's injured. And nobody remembers the Beatles and other random stuff.
Oh wait, what's the other random stuff?
It's like they know the Stones, but they don't know. Oh my gosh, he makes like references to things that people just don't remember.
Wait, so people know the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, I think the Rolling Stones existed.
Okay.
But, it might be weird. It might be Linkin Park. I think at one point he tries to look up Linkin Park.
Oh, like the band Linkin Park?
Yeah. It's weird choices.
That's really weird because that's not really like I wouldn't think of Linkin Park as a Beatles-influenced band or anything like that.
I don't think they are. I think it's just stuff didn't happen. Certain things didn't happen.
Okay.
So whatever. And then he decides that he's going to start. First he plays like he makes a statement about the Beatles and nobody recognizes it. And then he's like, "Well, stop playing jokes on me, guys. I'm missing 2 teeth here." And then nobody recognizes any of it, and he starts playing their music, and then takes credit for it.
Right. And that's where like the whole name of it. Yesterday he starts playing.
So he gets like a record contract, and his person in charge of the contract is pretty much the only American in the movie.
Is it Kate McKinnon, right?
Yeah. Who's very funny and really obnoxious.
Okay.
And she's supposed to be.
Yeah, of course.
And she's very clear from the beginning that she's all about the money.
Okay.
Ed Sheeran is in it playing.
Oh yeah,
Ed
I did see like that in the trailer that Ed Sheeran shows up
a lot.
And I think wanted to change like the words to one of the Beatles songs, and I'm like,
actually does.
Really?
Not Hey Jude, Hey Dude.
Yeah, no. Which is also kind of something I wondered about, because a lot of the songs have certain context to them.
He has to, in order to have a reason for the songs, because he's from England, but he's not from where they were, Liverpool.
Right.
He goes to Liverpool on a spiritual journey or whatever he calls it, to go have a reason to write Eleanor Rigby and things like that. He goes to the Abbey.
Right.
It's weird because it's kind of a love letter to the Beatles.
Yeah.
As a movie, but it's also a romantic comedy.
Okay.
Because his girl that used to be his agent, his girlfriend, but not his girlfriend, his friend, has a crush on him consistently throughout the movie.
Okay. And
he just doesn't want to mix business with pleasure. Is his whole statement.
All right.
She's had a crush on him since they were kids. Since he was in like a high school band and he played a song.
Okay.
Oasis is what he played.
Wonderwall. Oh, okay. So he did a cover of that.
He did a cover of that song.
Gotcha.
And I think after the accident, Oasis might not have existed either. It's strange. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Point is, this is a really weird thing. He goes on tour and he goes to Russia.
Okay.
When he's starting to become famous, he's opening for Ed Sheeran, and he plays back in the USSR.
Oh, okay.
And there's this weird guy standing in the crowd, just looking at him, like silently. And the guy starts following him to different shows.
Okay.
And then later on, there's a lady who shows up, who also starts going to different shows.
Okay.
And they're like, it's almost like they get it, and then there's a point where they want to see him right before his album comes out, because I think until that point he had just done like singles.
Okay.
And to get his attention, they give the person in charge of the door a yellow submarine.
Oh.
Which he hasn't played or...
Right.
And then they're like, what do you think's going to happen with this? These two people recognize it. What do you think they want from him?
Well, maybe they also realize that they remember the Beatles, and they're like, you can't like do this because you're stealing their music.
No.
Oh.
it's such a love letter to the Beatles that you think it's going to go that way, but instead it's like you have to make sure the world hears this. Thank you for letting the world hear the Beatles.
Oh.
Because the entire world had never experienced it, aside from them.
That's true. And it's kind of like a thing, like, the Beatles' music changed so many people's lives in such different ways.
Yeah, so the ending, I won't give you the ending.
Okay.
But I will say that it's a romantic comedy above anything else.
Okay, alright.
And it's weird to have that as a backdrop, but the guy's pretty talented.
Alright.
The movie works well for what it is. It's just a weird Danny Boyle movie. Like, that guy, I feel like he might be probably one of the most versatile working directors right now.
Well, what did he do before this?
Slumdog Millionaire.
Well, I know that, but I'm trying to think of, like...
What did he do right before this?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I have no idea. No idea, because he's done, like, action, he's done family.
Yeah, I know that.
He did 28 Days Later, right? I'm not crazy. That was Danny Boyle.
I'm pretty sure that's Danny Boyle.
I think that's where he got started.
Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah, I thought
Trainspotting, right?
Well, yeah, Trainspotting.
It's 28 Days Later isn't even where he got started.
And he was going to do, like, the new Bond, I think, at one point.
I thought he was, too.
I wish he had, but apparently they're having some problems.
Well, they're not having problems. They made a choice that's making people mad, which is whatever. I don't really have a problem with this choice.
What's the choice?
Oh, you haven't heard about this yet?
No.
So, the way the new Bond is apparently going to start is not with Daniel Craig being... Oh, he did 127 hours.
127 hours.
You're there?
Yep.
Yeah. Weird. Trance, which was James
But
McAvoy film.
He did do 28 Days Later, you're right. Slumdog Millionaire.
Sunshine, The Beach, apparently.
He did the Steve Jobs movie.
Which one? There were two.
I forget which one.
Oh, this is the Ashton Kutcher one.
It's the Ashton Kutcher one?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Michael Fassbender was the Danny Boyle. Ashton Kutcher was somebody else.
Yeah. The Fassbender one was, I heard... I haven't seen them, but when people compare them, they said that the Fassbender one was much, much better.
Yeah, well, I think it's based on the book more.
Yeah. Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's the Cumberbatch one, I think, right? Wasn't there a Cumberbatch Frankenstein?
Was there?
I think so. Because there were two.
Yeah, you're right.
Lost my train of thought, though.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
And Johnny Lee Miller, that's who it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it makes sense. Johnny Lee Miller worked with him in Trainspotting. He had to do something.
Yeah, Sunshine. I really liked Sunshine. That was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a solid film. It has Captain America in it, who's usually pretty good.
Yeah, and that was like the first one I was like, I saw more of a range in him.
Well, before that he wasn't serious.
Well, yeah, he was like not another teen movie, and he did Fantastic Four, I think, at that point.
Had he?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Cellular. Cellular, I think, was before Fantastic Four, but that couldn't have been considered too serious.
Yeah. Then he was Captain America.
He was.
Still is.
Still is Captain America.
In certain ways.
But yeah, I mean, it's worth a look if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I'd say. And Kate McKinnon's hilarious in it. Most of the cast is funny.
And Beatles songs, which I'm surprised. Like, I was like, they must have paid out a lot of money. I
don't know, like, if they... Maybe for the rights to the words. But the guy's playing the music. I think there's one time they actually might play a real Beatles song.
Okay.
But the rest of it is just covers.
But I think it's still like a certain amount of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
That it's like, I forget the whole rules, but it's a rules. Like, there's a certain amount you pay if you're gonna just play the song. There's another, I think, almost more expensive if a character sings that song.
Okay.
It's different I think if it's a parody, it's different. You can get away with that, but if it's them actually singing the song, like a cover of it, I think there's like you pay a little bit more.
That's what we were talking about, though.
Yeah.
James Bond.
James Bond.
Okay, so apparently in the new film,
yes,
this leaked, and I think it had to have been a planned leak because the backlash is ridiculous from certain groups, and then other groups are like, "What's wrong with this?" And my opinion is it kind of makes sense. The new James Bond film will not start with Daniel Craig being 007. There is a different 007.
Okay.
And the reason apparently people are mad, and I don't think as many people are mad as it's trying to be played up as, because it's trying to get ahead of a problem by making it sound like a big problem.
Okay.
And the thing is, he's apparently retired on an island hanging out.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense after the last film.
Yeah.
Like he's angry, but he's, trying to get away from it, retire.
Okay, makes sense.
And the new agent that's brought him in, because it's a black lady, everybody is upset, apparently.
Oh, because she took the number.
She took the number, which there's no reason to be mad at that.
Yeah.
They're numbers for a reason. They're literally disposable agents.
Yeah, that's the whole point behind the 00 system.
Right. Trevelyan was 006 in GoldenEye, right?
Yeah, he was 006.
There's another 006 after that, and there was another 006 before that.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works. 007 is a number. Who it is isn't important.
Yeah. And also it kind of plays into... I mean, they didn't end up doing this, but maybe they should have. That James Bond, the name James Bond, is only tied to the agency. That... I'm trying to think which one it was. Skyfall. One of the original ideas for Skyfall was that when he goes to, I guess the Skyfall Manor or something like that, it's like a retirement home for 007s.
Well, that was originally going to be Connery.
It was going to be Connery, and I think they were talking even having Roger Moore there too.
Well, yeah.
They were saying, it was going to be... Connery was going to be the guy who was the caretaker, and, Roger Moore was going to be there, and I think they were going to try to get, I think, all the Bonds there.
Brosnan and Dalton. I mean, they still have 3.
Yeah. But I think it was, a matter of, Connery wasn't going to do it, and then they were like, well, maybe we shouldn't do it this way, maybe it'll be too confusing to people. But I always thought that's kind of what they were going to... James Bond is a title that comes with... when you become an agent, and you become 007,
that's your name?
That's your name. It's because who gives out their real name as an agent?
But it doesn't, if your name's not attached to really anything important anymore, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I mean, I don't see them naming this girl James Bond.
No,
I don't think that makes sense.
That wouldn't make sense. But that would make sense that she's a 007.
Of course. How could you be mad at this?
Yeah.
The guy's left the agency. He's done.
Yes.
Right? Give the number to the next person.
Yeah.
What does it matter? Why? That's such a false... It's such a stupid thing to be angry over.
Right.
It makes me angry that people would be upset about this.
Yeah.
Or upset that people would be angry. Either way.
Yeah.
It's such a stupid... that's a waste of time. That's a waste of being angry.
And it lets it open to... going down the line, eventually it's gonna,
He wants to retire. The guy, every time they give him more money to come back, he wanted to retire from, movie 2.
Yeah.
Just, if he wants to retire, have somebody in line. I have no problem with them having a different 007. However, I do have a problem with them replacing the name. So I feel like this person probably not more permanent than the beginning of this film.
Okay.
Because it's James Bond. That's the character.
Yeah.
007, you know the number.
Right.
But it's James Bond. It doesn't feel right if it's not James Bond.
Right.
Maybe. To me.
Yeah.
But you're talking about 50-something years of films?
Yeah.
How do you change that?
And it is kind of like that thing that things have kind of changed. That style is kind of it is kind of that is kind of getting a little past that with, you have movies but I trying to say? This is kind of the same thing, but like things like Triple X that are kind of like, it's still like that kind of action movie. It's not kind of the same thing, but like action movie spy, The Kingsman, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, have you seen the new trailer for The Kingsman? The Kingsman?
No.
It's basically
a new one.
It's a new one.
I didn't think they were going to make a third.
It's kind of a prequel. It's called The Kingsman, like apostrophe S, not Kingsman.
Yeah.
And it's the origins of where they kind of came
agency.
from. The agency came from. I think Ralph Fiennes is in it, and it seems like it's taking place during World War I. And
Interesting.
which is interesting, but it also kind of seems like they've been around even longer than that. Like, it seems like they're kind of like, I think it's kind of like saying we've been around since King Arthur kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, which was, it made sense because they were all named like Galahad and Lancelot. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what it's going to be, but it's going to be like basically like how like maybe they're descended from a certain line, and these lines were always like soldiers of some kind or something like that.
Okay, well they always protect the king.
Right.
Or queen.
Mm-hmm.
Or the crown.
The crown, right. And the world. And,
Yeah.
you know, eventually.
Well, yeah.
But it kind of like, it seems a little more grittier, because it's going to be, I think, a little less technology.
Grittier?
Yeah. But
I
I
don't
think
think you can get much grittier than the Kingsman.
No, but I think it's also like less with like the technology stuff.
Yeah, more
like
down
the high, less high tech. But I'm sure they'll still have like certain gadgets and stuff. But like not
Van Helsing level gadgets.
Oh my god, man! We won't bring up Van Helsing.
Oh man, how mad does that make you?
Oh, it hurts. It really does. I had such high hopes for that movie. We won't talk about it.
Wolverine's fighting vampires and Frankenstein's monster.
And because you need Frankenstein's monsters to make vampires or something. I don't know.
No, you do.
Oh.
Then you're gonna start the movie in black and white, but it's only like a few days earlier or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, it's like, oh, this is way in the past. Oh no, that was last week. I was like, what? And you might be an angel or something.
You might be.
You stole
If
Dracula's
you guys haven't
ring.
seen Van Helsing, I recommend it.
Oh,
you should watch that and then Dracula Untold because they're both the same universe.
Are they?
No,
I don't know. I was like, really?
Yep.
Because
The
they
Hugh
might
Jackman cinematic universe.
Oh man.
Also Swordfish.
Oh, so many weird things in that movie.
The HJCU.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, but so Kingsman, they are doing that. The trailer just came out, so
Makes sense. Comic-Con.
But I think not like I think they just premiered it before Comic-Con. Maybe they'll talk about it, but it's same guys, Marv.
I like Ralph Fiennes, so
Ralph Fiennes is good.
It would be a shame not to see that cast, but I guess it's not the same without Mark Strong.
Yeah,
but
just got like when I spoilers for the second Kingsman. When I saw like they killed, I was like I really liked him kind of stay on.
But it was a good send off.
It was
because he goes out singing.
Yeah, he does.
It was a really good way to go. And then the Elton John thing,
which was strange, but sure.
All of it was great.
It was. It was such a weird movie, but such a good movie in such a weird way.
I like films that take it to that level of extreme, and because you have to commit.
Yeah. But that's kind of like what I was saying. Like Kingsman was kind of like James Bond-ish, but in a different way. Yeah,
and I feel that the new James Bond might change some of that, but I'm okay with it not being. It doesn't need to be everything that James Bond was 50 years ago, because times have changed.
Yeah,
and they've made. I think they made a point of getting rid of a lot of that over the last couple.
They have, and I mean, especially with like the first outing, Casino Royale, was amazing.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
I think they could make this great, and they can definitely transition to another character. I don't know, and this is horrible, I shouldn't have to, I shouldn't be saying this. I just don't know if I feel that it should be anything other than James Bond. Right. Just because it's the character.
Yeah.
Jane Bond, I don't know.
I mean,
they'd have to go Jane Bond, right?
Jane Bond, yeah. And I think they had talked about that a few years ago.
Yeah, they had Angelina Jolie they were talking about.
Yeah. And
they were talking about Idris Elba. He would have been great.
Yeah.
He's Black Superman.
Yes, we just watched the new Hobbs and Shaw's trailer where he pretty much says, I'm Black Superman.
He says it.
And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah.
That guy's amazing. He's such a good actor. Luther, are you kidding?
Oh, he's practically Batman in that.
Luther, and if you say it without the lisp, Losers.
Oh, Losers. That's true.
He was also in that.
Yeah.
Check it out. That is another great movie starring Captain America.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was a part in that, too.
Yeah, and that guy from Rogue One. The main guy. Cassian.
Oh, yeah.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, he's the sniper. Twice. He has a sniper rifle in Rogue One, too, at one point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Canon. They're the same universe.
It's the same universe?
The Losers cinematic universe.
You don't know what I've had to do. Yeah,
That's a great movie. That's another one based on a comic that they could have done more and they never did.
Yeah. And they could have gone back the other direction. They could have gone back to World War II with that. Because that's where it came from. In fact, my teacher, that was one of his.
How did they end that? Why don't they bring that back? Tell him.
What?
Tell him bring it back.
One, he'd have to be alive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. 89's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think, no wait, 80s. I forget. 80s.
Either way, he's a genius. It's a great book.
It is. He did a lot of those, like Sergeant Rock, The Losers, like all that stuff.
But this was like the modern Losers, I guess.
Yes, they brought it back in a different way. I think it was a Vertigo book.
I think it was too. Speaking of Vertigo, Tim.
Yes.
And oddly enough, things that are no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
As
yes.
helpful as that is.
Yes. So Vertigo, I think it was basically, this is not new news, but like they've decided to end DC has decided to end the Vertigo line, and I get why they want to do it. I'm sure if they eventually, maybe in a few years, they might bring it around again. But it was kind of like that, the start of like so many things and so many. I mean, I don't remember if Batman Arkham Asylum was a Vertigo title, but it was kind of like Grant Morrison, and I think, oh man, I'm gonna forget his name. It's not Ted McKeever. But the artist who worked on him with that, I think they had done a Vertigo book together, like all that stuff. Animal Man, like Alan Moore's, like Swamp Thing, Constantine,
100 Bullets.
100 Bullets. I think at one point they were publishing V for Vendetta through Vertigo. So many things, and the biggest one, of course, being Sandman, which they're finally, I think Netflix just signed the deal with Neil Gaiman to do Sandman as a series.
That's not a cheap thing to do.
No, and I couldn't see Neil letting that go unless they kind of promised him all the money to do it. Because they'd been talking, like there was a Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing they had talked about doing, like they were going to do like a movie or something like that, or a series. But I could see them doing this on that. But like so many things that came out of like DC Vertigo. So it's sad that it's going, but they've kind of like continued it on in other lines, just with different titles now. They're kind of like diversifying it like even more. Like Vertigo used to cover like so many things, but now they're kind of like stuff that was more mature, but also stuff that really didn't fall directly into, you know, superhero stuff like Superman, Wonder Woman, that kind of thing. So this is kind of like their way of like, hey, Vertigo's, we don't really need the Vertigo title anymore. We have Young Animals with Gerard Way, which is like another line for them now. They have, I think it's the DC Black Label line, I think that's what it is, and that's one where things are very, very mature. So they kind of like diversified in that way, and I'm sure they'll have like a few other lines. They have Sandman is continuing as its own universe kind of thing. So they have like the Sandman universe with like characters from there and stories that pertain to that kind of like universe. So, yeah. And I'm sure they're still gonna have like Hellblazer and all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I don't think you get rid of a character like Constantine.
No. I mean he's in. I think they have like a Justice League Dark book or whatever.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to make a movie out of that.
They have been trying for a little while. It was going to be a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Maybe they should just let him do it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what with him being an Oscar award nominee director? And,
yeah.
You know, maybe he could bring something good to it. I mean, Hellboy. You know, he has been known to make movies that made money. In the past. Pacific Rim. I feel like the first one made money.
It made money so much that they made a second one.
Second one probably made money in China.
Yeah. It was an okay movie. It wasn't as good as the first one. But I think it was, like, okay. But definitely, I mean, I saw the trailer for his Scary Stories.
Yeah, he really likes his horror.
Yeah, and I've always liked that series. I remember reading that book when I was a kid. It was...
Same, I remember the story with the girl with the ribbon around her neck.
I remember the girl with the spiders in her cheek.
That's the thing they have that in this, obviously.
Oh yeah. That always freaked me out.
Yeah.
And, but, like, I remember they were talking about doing, like, a Justice League Dark movie, but I don't know if nothing came of it, or maybe they're going to do it. They might do it as a series now, or something. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
They did a cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Which was, like,
Haven't seen it.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, it was just, like, different. I was just, like, it's not my thing.
I still have to watch the Batman and Ninja Turtles thing.
It's wonderful.
I know, I want to see it. I've seen all the stuff from it.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it.
I know.
Which is upsetting.
Speaking of it.
Yeah.
They dropped the new trailer for It, too. Looks good. Like, I imagine, like, next week we're probably going to be talking about so many things that Comic-Con released. I'm sure The Witcher... We'll be talking
about the new Star Wars.
Talking about whatever.
Those guys showed up, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure they'll have like a official trailer for The Mandalorian rather than like some of the footage they've shown, which looks great. I can't wait.
Is DC there, or did they not show up to those things?
Oh, they're coming. I think they're going to do... There was like Marvel was saying they weren't going to show, and now they are showing.
They have to.
No, they have their own, like, they could do the D23 stuff.
But they have to let people know.
Yeah.
I feel that it's not over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are like, Endgame, it's over. There is closure for 99% of that cinematic universe in Endgame. I actually dislike that Spider-Man brought stuff back up.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? I feel like that could have ended there and been fine.
Yeah.
It could have been 20 years or 10 years of great movies, the end.
Right.
And it would have been perfect. Spider-Man dredged up some other stuff, and they're like, hey, guys, by the way, this is happening.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of knew that they weren't going to end it.
No, we knew they weren't going to end it, and I'm happy to see another Black Panther, another Doctor Strange. I want to see the Black Widow movie.
But
I'm excited.
But you're thinking, like, just have them do separate movies and not have a big connected thing.
No, I don't even mind that. It has to make sense.
Yes.
It has to make sense. It has to be the right amount. Like, they did it perfect last time.
Yes.
The build-up, everything. I don't think you could do that again.
No, you definitely couldn't. And I don't think they should try.
But what I don't want is all of that to have been for nothing. Like, I don't want immediately...
Another world-ending threat kind of thing?
Yeah, like, I like the smaller stuff. I like, as crazy as this is, I like the threat of somebody attacking Wakanda.
Yeah.
And that's it, like, Wakanda. Like, I don't need a million aliens. And we already know that there's, spoiler alert, slightly, that there's still aliens that are there that are, A, some that aren't a threat, and B, some that are definitely a threat. Right. They still exist. Some of them, not all of them.
And I thought since maybe because they've got the Fantastic Four back, they've got the X-Men back, maybe we could start dipping into that stuff and
build that right.
And build that up right. Because I was like, oh, if you really want to do Dark Phoenix, like do the whole Phoenix saga, which was like years of comics. Like it wasn't like, oh, she's good now and now she's bad. It was like not like you couldn't do it in like one movie, which they keep trying to do, and I don't know why. It would be like 10 years of movies with other stories. I mean, there's other great stories in there that just build and build and build until you finally get to the big thing.
Yeah.
They could do it that same way.
I want to know, first off, I want to know how they're going to do a Black Widow movie.
That could be like one of the things they show, because they're filming.
Yeah, I know, but I want to know how they do it. Like,
I'm betting it's a prequel.
I don't want that.
It is kind of a weird thing to do
I want
that
it
way.
to just be an hour and a half of a ground shot and blood.
What?
Yep. But like weirdly orchestral music.
Okay.
Like, I want the soundtrack to Halo.
Oh wow.
for an hour and a half.
For an hour?
And then just everybody like walks by, like all the characters that are, still around. They just walk by and drop a rose and cry.
Wow.
Because that's the end of the MCU right there.
Wow.
Hey.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It should have been Hawkeye. #, should have been Hawkeye.
I don't think so.
It should have been in this one. I get that she didn't have the family and as much to live for.
Well, honestly though, I think you don't take away that kind of sacrifice. You make it a hard choice.
The problem is, they're going to have to... Do you know what this movie has to be to make that an even more important sacrifice?
What?
She has to be a bad guy in this movie. She has to be 100% a bad guy.
It could be.
And they're going to kill the character for me with that. Because they're just going to make her... The whole time, she's going to be... Cap was a Nazi, that's her. Like, she's the Nazi now.
Right.
And I hate it.
Well...
I know that's the character.
Yeah.
But the character turns back to good.
Right.
Now...
And maybe that's what this is going to be. This is going to be like when she meets Hawkeye and things kind of change.
But the problem is, this is the parting shot for her. There's no comeback from this because she's already dead.
Right.
So there's no redemption anymore because the redemption happened in the past for us.
Right.
And I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I would actually... I almost want it to be like Black Widow, Winter Soldier, where it's like her trying to stop the Winter Soldier kind of thing. Like, it could... that could be part of it too.
Does she know him before then?
She remember she gets shot by him. Okay. Remember she has like the wound, like the guy. I think it was something like she was protecting some sort of scientist or something like that, and he shot through her or something.
Okay. So
it could be like they could do that too. Like there's so many stories you could do with Black Widow. It could be like a whole thing about her in the Red Room. There's a great story where she tries to get a group of Black Widows basically in training out of the Red Room. Like there's a lot of good stuff. I'd be interested to see where they're going to go with it. I hope it's not something so simple that it's just like it's not like worth it.
Sorry, there's a rabid squirrel.
Yes. Giant rat. That's all I see. But yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested to see where they take it. It could be good. It could be awful. Hey, maybe this is kind of like everybody gets to kind of say their one last goodbye to that character kind of thing.
I guess. I don't know. I don't want her. I don't want them to kill what made the character.
Yeah.
A hero.
Right.
And they kind of have to. And that's the problem. They boxed themselves into a corner doing this after that.
Exactly. They should have done this way before. Yeah.
But she should have been the first female-led MCU movie.
That was kind of the thing. I kind of was like, why was Captain Marvel the first? Like,
they had to get her out there before the Endgame.
Well, yeah, but after the first Avengers movie, why not have her?
She was great.
Yeah.
She was one of the best parts of the first Avengers film.
Exactly. Yeah, I never understood why that wasn't like on the slate already. Like that they, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I remember seeing like fake trailers for like a Black Widow movie that looked kind of like interesting, where it was like basically like they did like an intro that almost kind of looked like a James Bond movie, kind of with like what's the intro I'm thinking? Goldfinger, kind of like a little bit like that,
Okay.
but with just like colors and shapes and like a spider crawling across. It looked really good and well done. I was like make it like a spy kind of thing, like
Well, that's what it should be.
kind of like what they did with Captain America: Winter Soldier. It could have been similar to that.
She shouldn't be facing world-ending threats. She should be facing minor threats to a country, maybe like international assassin or something like that. But
Something where she's trying to prevent like a terrorist attack or something along those lines. It would have been like something spy game-ish, or like somebody stole all the SHIELD agents' undercover files or something like that, and she has to reclaim them. Like,
and they bring back what's his name, Robert Redford. Have her work for him and Nick Fury.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, it could have been like that before like we found out everything about him.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have known. I mean, they did that in Endgame.
Yeah, they did. Like in the whole
But they made it so obvious that you have to think these people are idiots to not realize this.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. That slightly annoyed me, that he showed up there
Which one?
to take the briefcase.
Yeah.
Why? Just because they had Redford?
With the Hail Hydra thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was almost like a little bit of like, hey, let's throw in. We got the ancient one back. Let's throw in some other like random
The
cameos.
ancient one makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it was just little Easter eggs for everybody. I don't know. They were like, we like Robert Redford. We'll get him back again. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they got him back. But
Yeah.
Didn't.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. So so besides the Comic-Con stuff we'll be talking about next week, you've been playing, now what is it, Mario Maker?
Mario Maker 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Perfect.
It has, it's really good.
Okay.
The creative tools are a lot of fun. The levels, some of you people out there are psychopaths.
Oh, they've been making some really hard levels?
There's a level I played. Actually, a friend of mine made that is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah?
It's like I don't think I'm ever gonna beat it. It's just mean. It is the entire level is built around these spinning gears that are saw blades.
Okay.
If you touch them, you die.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
But they're I don't know how a human being can get through this. And his the completion rate is like 1.4%.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's mean.
That is mean. Now, do people appreciate that?
Some of them, because some of them want to be the guy that was part of that 1.4%.
Right.
Right? And then some of them just people are just making cool levels. Like they're creating their own stuff. They just make different fun things. There's things that they're not even like walking simulators. They take you on a journey through the level. Like you go on one of those platforms that moves, and it just shows you cool stuff they've done.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. That's
so
what
it's
I
not
love
even
about
like a difficult then not.
No, you don't even move. Gold don't move. And then I've seen other people on YouTube play things like You're a Monster, where you have to make it through the level, and the only ways to make it through the level is you get a Yoshi, and you have to keep sacrificing it to get through the level, and that's why it's called You're a Monster.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but there's so much there. It's just amazing. I kind of wish I had played the first one.
Okay.
To see the full experience and the growth, but there's a lot there, and you can play it in different designs. So you can play it in new Super Mario Brothers style, or Mario 3, or original Mario.
Okay.
The only thing they made some weird choices, and I get it, but I hate it.
What are the weird choices?
First Mario Maker had amiibo support.
Okay.
But here's the important thing: the amiibo
Mm-hmm.
put that character into the game. Now that sounds silly until you think there was a Sonic the Hedgehog amiibo. You get me?
Okay.
So now you have Sonic playing Mario levels.
Oh, that's weird.
But it's cool. Fox McCloud or Metroid like Samus, right? That's different. Not in the new one. They took it out. I don't know why they did, and I hate that.
That is kind of stupid.
They also... I feel like you can't play... There's some sort of weird limitation with playing with friends online. Something to do with they're worried about people messing with leaderboards. So you can't play with your friends online. Like you can do local of created levels.
Okay.
But you can't play online created levels with your friends at the same time.
That's strange.
It's very strange.
That is strange. Okay. All right.
But the game is a blast.
And a lot of... Have you made any levels?
I'm not good at it. I've messed around with it a little bit, but I need to I need to map it all out because I can't do what these people do.
Well, maybe they've started with like the Mario Maker 1 kind of thing. So
I
jumping
know
in this
the
too.
one did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was never a level designer.
Right. All right.
But we'll see. Maybe I'll make a monstrosity and I'll show it to you.
All right.
I'll just say like poop in coins.
Yeah. Speaking of poop, so
speaking of the Switch and poop.
Yeah, exactly. So
cats.
Oh no. So
last week we talked about something.
We talked about Switch Lite and how ridiculous it was.
And what I believe I said, I think on the podcast even,
yes,
that the one thing I wanted out of it was a larger battery life.
Exactly, which what anybody would want,
and
and make it the same, like portable.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine with it if that's what it's about.
Right,
I'm there.
You think that light, lighter, can have a longer battery for it or something.
Yeah, because it doesn't need to do the 1080p docked.
Right. It doesn't need to do that. It's not like a regular system.
The processing power doesn't need to be as strong. It just needs to be able to play the games.
Right.
And Nintendo has finally done it. They have increased the battery life on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
The original.
Yes. And not even like saying, hey, we're putting out this new version with a longer battery life. We're just, it'll just be out there.
Yeah, we're going to phase out the other gradually.
But we're not going to recall the other ones or give you an option to send in your Switch or something like that.
Trade up, exactly. That would be wacky, Tim. You're a silly boy.
Yeah, so, as wonderful as Nintendo is, they're not telling anybody, they're just putting it out on the shelf. And unless you know that it's a newer version, chances are you could get a longer battery one, or you might not get a longer battery one.
You can walk into, I'm sure, a specialty retailer, and they'll know the difference based on the code number, the serial number.
Or before you go buy a Switch, go look up online and find out what serial numbers are that have the new longer battery, because why would you want a version that doesn't have a longer battery? It makes no sense.
For the same price.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Nintendo gonna Nintendo. And the only time I've seen this before, I have seen another major player do something like this. So, the PlayStation VR...
Oh, yes.
Added in probably about a year, maybe a little longer, into the lifespan of the VR.
Right.
They added in HDR support in certain models.
Yes.
But they were even... I would venture to say that they might have been slightly more obnoxious, but I could be wrong. But they had bundles that were still coming out after they announced it. So they had some that had HDR, but then they had bundles that didn't have HDR that they released after that. So I wouldn't even know where to look that up, and I literally work around it all day.
Yeah. And it just seems so dirty to not...
Because Grandma's not going to know.
Yeah.
And little Billy's going to open it on Christmas morning, and he's going to say, wait, this battery only lasted 2 hours. It should have lasted 4.
Or 12.
Or it was 12 is optimistic.
Yeah, that is kind of an optimistic. And I don't know, does it have brightness settings on the Switch?
The light doesn't. I'm glad you asked him.
Oh, really?
But I believe the original does.
So screen brightness, you can actually...
You can dim it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm betting if you maybe dim your game and you're playing I don't know, like a less complicated game, maybe.
I'm sure if you're playing Mario on the Nintendo eShop,
yeah,
whatever their online version,
at the lowest screen brightness, you could probably stretch it out for like maybe 10 hours or more.
Yeah, but if you're playing The Witcher,
yeah,
probably not.
No,
because Xbox Ones have trouble handling The Witcher.
Exactly.
I'm excited to see that cartoon drawing come to life on the Switch.
I thought you were going to say on Netflix.
Well, speaking of The Witcher...
Yeah. I'm sure Comic-Con will have like a trailer for the new Netflix series, I'm sure.
I think they just announced that they finished filming?
Yes.
Which I guess took them 3.5 days? I don't know. It felt like it was really quick from those first shots to being done.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it's been a while.
They cast it a while ago.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I feel like they had just showed off those outfits.
No,
like
that
the armor.
I thought that was a while ago.
Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't know. I thought I'd seen those test shots like a while ago, but maybe not.
But they just showed the first shots of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it had at least been like 5 to 6 months ago.
Of him in costume? No.
Oh no, like test footage.
No, they actually have him. They just showed what he looks like.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought I had seen test footage of him in the costume like months and months ago.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, you've been playing The Witcher.
I have. I went back because I knew it was coming to the Switch and I knew it was coming to Netflix. So I was like, I gotta play it. I gotta finish it. So I did the thing that I always do because I'm crazy, where I restarted the game because I don't want to pick it up halfway.
Yeah, and you might not remember exactly what you were doing or even how certain things work.
Imagine taking 2 years off of Game of Thrones and picking it up at season 7.
Yeah,
or 6, whatever it ended on.
8.
8. It's 8. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like there's and The Witcher is like that, but more.
Right.
Because did it even make it to 100 hours? Probably not.
I don't know.
The Witcher is a 100-hour game.
Yeah.
And there's so many people you meet, and they interact with other people. Like there's minute details, and there's choices I made that I don't remember what I chose to do.
Right.
So I had to restart it, and I know I'm doing things differently than I did the first time. Like there's things I don't remember seeing at all, but really cool. It's still a great game. It still looks great, and we're talking about probably 4 years ago it came out.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably one of the best looking games on modern consoles, so it's not going to look good on a Switch. I mean, maybe it can. Maybe they're doing some magic.
Okay.
But I don't see how. The maps are huge. There's so much going on. There's storms that, like, it's randomized. Like, the weather is everything.
And they say that's all going to be included?
Yeah. They didn't say They didn't say any major cuts they have to make. And it's not even... They announced it, and it was like 4 months later it's coming out. It's coming out in September.
Right. Alright, well, we'll see.
Yeah. And how do you bug test that quick? It's 1 million hours long. There's so much. I have bugs that are still in the one that I'm playing right now.
Oh, really?
It'll go to slow motion at some point when you're cleaving somebody.
Okay.
And all of a sudden they just don't have a helmet anymore, and that helmet's gone forever.
Oh, it's one of those?
It just disappears.
Nice.
And they do slow motion, so it's the highlight of that happening is you're getting like a close-up of this cool battle that you were just part of, like 300. And it's like if 300 you're fighting somebody and then their armor's gone when they die.
Right.
But they're still falling.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but magic.
Yeah. And it happens. That's not really a huge glitch. I mean, there's...
Yeah.
It's not like...
But it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And that's... But they were so cool with the support that I can't even get mad at them. They did something like 12 weeks of free DLC they just put out.
Yeah, they're really good with that. I have to say, Is it CD Projekt Red?
Yeah, it's the Cyberpunk dudes.
Yeah, and that's another one that I'm very interested to see. Like,
you're breathtaking.
Keanu. Oh, Keanu Reeves.
He's a wacky guy.
He's amazing. But yeah, that's another game that I'm interested to see. Like, I've seen I've watched like the 15-minute play, and I'm very impressed with what I've seen. Just amazing, like the amount of stuff that they've put into it.
I'm hoping it comes out looking like that. They're usually not ones to break promises like that. So.
Yeah, and they've been working on this for such a long time, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's never coming out. It can never live up to the hype." But I have to say, it's definitely there.
I'm excited for it to cause me to not put away my Xbox when the next box comes out.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, depends. Maybe it's fully backwards compatible. I just play it on my new system.
That could be.
But I only have so much space.
Yeah. Till everything goes on the cloud.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to think about that future. Yeah. Just, that game's gone forever, like Minecraft Story Mode. It's gone. You can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you bought the game, you can't have it. Because it's episodic, and the episodes are in the cloud. That's true, actually, right now. If you have Minecraft Story Mode Season 1 or 2 on Xbox One, PS4, Switch, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Even if you go to a store, you go to Walmart, you pick up a disc.
Right.
You can install Episode 1, the others are gone. You just cannot access them ever again. And that's something you paid for.
Yeah.
Even if you bought it digitally, you cannot access it anymore. And I don't understand that, because they're not making money on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange thing. It is wonderful, like, certain things that you can do with the cloud, but it also does seem like they can limit you on certain things, too.
An all-digital future is a scary place.
Yeah. And I know it's going to be kind of going that way eventually, but, you still got to, give some time to the analog people, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on that scary note...
That's why you release a finished game.
Yes. Ugh. Stop making me your tester.
Where's PT?
As we're wrapping up things, you're still watching the Stranger Things, right?
I am, yeah. I'm 5/8 through it, I guess you could call it that.
Well, then we'll save that for maybe next week when we'll finish it up, and we can go into like a deep dive on that. And probably by the time you do that, everybody will have hopefully seen this series.
Yes.
And we'll talk a big spoilery Stranger Things chapter, not chapter 3. That's it. Stranger Things season 3.
I think they call them chapters.
Do they call them chapters?
I think they might. Or they're chapters. Each episode.
Each episode of the chapter. Yeah. So, it's very much like an
homage. Verse 3.
Yeah. Verse 3. But yeah, we'll definitely talk that. We'll probably talk San Diego Comic-Con, everything that's coming out, because there's a lot, which there always is. But yeah, I'm sure Marvel will have had some more announcements. Star Wars, DC, we'll probably talk the new Wonder Woman trailer. I'm sure they'll have some...
They have to.
They have to. They've been waiting for
right?
it. Yeah. They've been waiting for 1984. Like, no, they haven't leaked any footage, nothing. Just like some screenshots they've shown, in footage stuff.
Can't wait for them to announce Aquaman 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see where that's going to go. I'm actually interested to see where this Shazam movie's going to go.
The Meg 2 Aquaman.
Yeah. Because there's a reference. I know that was like a big thing they just talked about was in the Shazam Blu-ray or something like that. I think like one of the deleted scenes is all the kids in their Shazam forms sitting on the thrones in the Rock of Eternity, and there's like one seat left open, and they're saying that might be the seat for the last champion kind of thing.
Who's the last champion?
Well, the previous champion. And that would be The Rock.
Oh, so that's Black Adam's seat.
That's Black Adam's seat.
I don't know how he wasn't in it. He made such a big deal out of being Black Adam.
Yeah. And that's still, I think, coming because he was a producer on this movie, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do the next movie will be a Black Adam movie, and then it might go into Shazam 2 or 3 or whatever, and he'll show up.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Black Adam movie. I'd be interested to see what
do
they
they
do
just
with
call
it.
him Adam, you think?
Well, they call him, I think it's like his name is like Teth Adam, like it's an Egyptian name of some kind.
Yeah.
And it's a good. I always liked him as a character. He seemed very like it was always very interesting. He's not exactly a villain. He's more like an anti-hero. In fact, I think in the DC universe, he like actually, I'm pretty sure rules a country. Like he's a fake country. I forget what the name of it is.
Wakanda.
Like Wakanda. It's basically like it's like an Egypt type country.
It's kind of amazing how much they steal from each other, Marvel and DC.
Yeah. And back and forth, you know, I mean, that's the whole thing where Deadpool and Deathstroke and like all that stuff came from.
Yeah.
Like they were making fun of, I think Deathstroke was making fun of Captain America, and then Deadpool was making fun of Deathstroke. Or Slade, or whatever they call him now. I don't know.
Slade Wilson.
Slade Wilson. Not to be confused with Wade Wilson.
Ridiculous.
Merc with a mouth.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. But, so, next week we'll talk all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there'll be even stuff we're not even prepared to, like, hear about. I'm sure they're going to have, like, I'm sure Marvel will have whatever their next phases are.
Stephen King's, there's going to be 3 new Stephen King remakes.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. Alright, so we'll talk next week. And as always, Design Create, we're still working on our little project. We'll have more updates. I might actually post a few things on Instagram. Some like stuff we're working on. And you can catch me, that would be on @TimMartinek on the Instagrams. You can find Bob at...
I'm at Bob J. Martin, Marton on Instagram, and Martin_Bob on Twitter.
Nice.
Yeah.
And of course, you can find us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and YouTube. And leave us comments. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we'll see you next week. So bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Do a little redesigning with us. You can find Bob at Martin, MARTON_BOB, on Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram at TimMartinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.